Hey, you guys, we're on. So I wanted to use this opportunity actually as an assistance to myself to help brainstorm for an article that I'm writing on the project that I do called 19 Days of Inspiration, which is an email art project for the 19 days during the Baha'i fast. And the article is for publication whose readers are interested in spirituality and mindfulness and what the Baha'i teachings have to say on different topics, but who aren't necessarily Baha'is themselves. And I figure that that's actually going to be most of you. So this will be a good practice for me articulating some thoughts. And if nothing else, I will get to watch this later as I'm working on the article and sort of hear my own thoughts fleshed out. But I'd love to know if I'm communicating well and if these ideas make sense and that sort of thing. So 19 Days of Inspiration is my project. It's daily art and devotional emails that go out every morning of the Baha'i fast. And last year was the first year for it. And obviously this will be the second. But last year I literally consulted and brainstormed and had the idea on February 9th and started putting it together, inviting people to join that day. And it just turned into this really beautiful global experience with people, emailing, asking, this is so great. Can you please have this translated into German so we can share it with the friends here? People in London saying we shared this at our devotional or our neighborhood prayer gatherings, or I emailed this to my family in Kentucky. It very much grew and spread, and it was really amazing. So that's the origin story of it. What it is, again, it's me sending out these emails every day that have inspirational quotes, mostly from the Baha'i teaching. Sometimes I'll sneak in something from Rumi or Khalil Gibran, but they have inspirational quotes. And then it has one of my original art images, a painting or a drawing. And then I share a little bit about the art piece and sort of connect it with the thought for the day. And the purpose is really to sort of curate this spiritual experience for all of us, to increase this sense that there are people all over the world who are not only observing this Baha'i month of fasting, but even getting these emails and reflecting on the same quotes and the same art images every day. And I feel that art, visual art, this is pink serenity, I feel like beauty exists and has value alone and in and of itself, but its ultimate value is in how it can open up our hearts and our spirits. And so to pair something visually beautiful and sometimes sort of abstract and mind expanding with some really profound quotes or writings or teachings, that it's kind of a light upon light situation where our heart is being opened in a very gentle way. Our hearts and our minds are being sort of stimulated, and we're able to see things in a new way. Thank you, computer. The Baha'i fast, these 19 days, for Baha'is who are within certain ages and are in good health, we don't eat or drink while the sun is up for 19 days. So it's a daylight fast. And the purpose is mostly mystical and spiritual, though it is symbolic of being detached from the world. It's symbolic of sacrifice. We're willing to sacrifice our lunches. And for me, I find it to be extremely mindful, because not only is the eating process becoming consecrated and sacred, but every time my stomach growls or my mouth feels dry, it's like a wake-up call. It's like a reminder of why I'm doing this and why I'm offering this and how little it is to ask, actually, and how I'm not alone doing this with other people. And there's this amazing poem by Rumi, the Sufi poet, about fasting, and I'm going to read it to you because it really says everything that is really that I've experienced that's really positive and awesome about this process. There's a hidden sweetness in the stomach's emptiness. We are lutes, no more, no less. If the sound box is stuffed full of anything, no music. If the brain and belly are burning clean with fasting, every moment a new song comes out of the fire. The fog clears and a new energy makes you run up the steps in front of you. And that's so true. I mean, sometimes the fast just like forces me to lay low, and sometimes I'm astounded by the energy I have at 5 p.m. with no calories to explain it, you know? Be emptier and cry like reed instruments cry. Emptier. Write secrets with the reed pen. When you're full of food and drink, Satan sits where your spirit should, an ugly metal statue in place of the Kaaba. When you fast, good habits gather like friends who want to help. Fasting is Solomon's ring. Don't give it some illusion and lose your power. Hey, Shireen, I'm reading the Rumi poem on fasting, talking about the fast and my 19 Days of Inspiration project. But even if you've lost all will and control, they come back when you fast, like soldiers appearing out of the ground, pennants flying above them. A table descends to your tent, Jesus' table. Expect to see it when you fast. This table spread with other food better than the broth of cabbages. And I always think about that when I'm really hungry during the fast and it's like 3 o'clock and I like start fantasizing about like what I wouldn't eat right now. And then I'm like, what would I eat? Like the broth of cabbages? Like what would be more nourishing and sweet and better than this experience of being able to offer a fast? So with the 19 Days of Inspiration, it's really this idea of accompaniment, that ideally these emails going all over the world and me sharing these stories increases this sense that we're doing this all together. And even if we're not literally fasting for health or age reasons, we can still have this sense that we are living through this beautiful month together. And when I started this project, I had been traveling for years in a row during our lead-up celebration called the ayyam-i-ha, and then I would travel during the fast. So it was like this very lonely experience where I didn't have a sense of community, and it was very solitary. And so I think that had a lot to do with me starting this project of like, well, at least we can be connected, like our hearts can be connected through digital mediums. And then it's also become this expression not only of faith, but of living a coherent life where I am offering everything of who I am, honestly. It's like my love of spirituality and my devotion, my artwork, which is both my joy and my profession, and then me sharing stories and threading it together. And it's interesting because as foundationals like spirit and art are to who I am, my real passion is actually in creating that bridge, creating the bridge to connect with other people and helping them, ideally, connect more with other people and to connect more with their own spirits and with their sense of their higher power. And even as an artist, like I feel like painting is kind of like being a carpenter. Like it's this very humble, kind of messy, lumbering process of hopefully creating these like windows that give people a vision of something spiritual and beyond dimension and time and space. And my ability to maybe like curate certain holy or sacred or mystical writings, and also to articulate some of my own thoughts, like can maybe help create some bridges or hooks of understanding for people to more deeply connect with what the art might inspire in them, and then also like allow them to see the spiritual dimensions in a new way. So those are some of the things of what the 19 days is about and why I do it and how it's an expression of my faith. And that's about it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll put links for signing up for the 19 days too if you're interested and haven't already done so. So, all right, I'm signing off, you guys. You'll have to watch it on my story or wall, but thanks for joining. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.